everyone, welcome to Supriya channel. Today's our topic is nutrition in human beings. Human digestive system is very complex in nature and it has different paths, and these different paths performs the different functions by using the digestive juices and the enzymes, different digestive juices and the enzymes. And here this is nothing but the alimentary canal. The alimentary canal starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. It is a long tube. Alimentary canal is a long tube. It starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. And let us see one by one. Mouth. We eat the different food items, and the different food items passed from the mouth to the next part. What is that? Esophagus. But here in the mouth we see the tongue, and salivary glands produce the saliva and also the teeth. And we eat the food, we take the food with the mouth, and that food cut and crushed by our teeth. And what is the role of the tongue in the digestive tract? This tongue helps the food mixed with the saliva, and it helps in push the food into the next part of the digestive tract. And here salivary glands. These salivary glands produce the saliva. Here we discuss about the salivary glands. These salivary glands produce the saliva, and this saliva consists an enzyme. This enzyme is nothing but the thiolin. Thiolin are the salivary amylase. Salivary amylase. And this salivary amylase or the thiolin is enzyme which is produced from the saliva, and the saliva is secreted by the salivary glands. And this thiolin enzyme helps in this salivary amylase or the thiolin. This enzyme helps in break down the carbohydrates. Break down the carbohydrates in the mouth part. Break down the carbohydrates in the mouth. And how many pairs of salivary glands are present? 3 pairs of salivary glands are present. What are they? And where is the location of the salivary glands? Let us see. Here salivary glands are 3 types. First one is the submandibular, and second one is the sublingual, and third one is the parotid. 3 types of salivary glands present in our mouth. First one is the submandibular, second one is the sublingual, and third one is the parotid. And submandibular, these submandibular salivary glands are present at the side of the jaw, location side of the jaw. Next, sublingual glands present at the below the tongue. Next, parotid glands present near the ears, or side of the ears. This is all about the salivary glands. The salivary glands produce the saliva. Saliva consists an enzyme, that is salivary amylase or the thiolin. That enzyme breaks down the carbohydrates in the part of the mouth. This is all about the salivary glands. And next, saliva whatever the food we take, that food mixes with the saliva. Food mixes with the saliva and makes wet and forms a slippery substance. Forms a slippery substance or slippery lump. That slippery lump is called as the bolus. Bolus. Very, very important. 2 marks or 1 mark answer. Slippery lump means what? Which is in the irregular shape and solid matter. Ball shape only, like mudda, we say mudda. And solid matter, which is ball-like structure, and irregular in shape, that is the lump. And this is called as the bolus. And this total process is called as the mastication. This total process is called as the mastication. 2 marks answer. Next, from the mouth, food reaches the next part, that is the esophagus. Esophagus is a long tube. This esophagus is nothing but the food pipe. Now, where is the bolus? At the part of the esophagus. And that bolus passes through the esophagus into the next part, that is the stomach. Backside we can't see here, stomach. And here, by that bolus passes through the esophagus by wave-like movement. Bolus passes through esophagus by wave-like movement. This wave-like movement is called as the peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement, which is 2 marks, Nana. 2 marks answer. It's very, very important. 2 marks. What is peristaltic movement? The food passes through the esophagus by wave-like movement. This wave-like movement is called as the peristaltic movement. Now, where is the food? Where is the bolus? The bolus passed through the esophagus into the stomach. Now, bolus is in the part of the stomach. Stomach. And here, we people think that the food is completely digested in the part of the stomach, but not here. The food is not completely digested in the part of the stomach, partially digested in the part of the stomach, semi-solid in condition. And here, walls of the stomach releases the gastric juices, and enzyme, pepsin enzyme here. By using the gastric juices and the enzyme pepsin, food is partially digested. Food is partially digested. Now, where is the food? In the part of the stomach. The bolus is in the part of the stomach. So, now that bolus is partially digested in which part? In the part of the stomach. And here, from the stomach, food from the stomach, here, pyloric sphincter, ring-like pyloric sphincter muscles are present. Pyloric sphincter muscles are present. Where? At the end of the stomach. At the end of the stomach, this pyloric sphincter muscles sends the food into the next next part. Pyloric sphincter muscles. Pyloric sphincter muscles are end part of the stomach, end part of the stomach, and proximal part. Proximal and proximal means what? Front part. Proximal part of the small intestine. Small intestine. And here this ring-like pyloric sphincter muscles. Ring-like pyloric sphincter muscles sends the food from the stomach to the small intestine. Whatever the food partially digested in the part of the stomach, that food is passes into the next part, that is the small intestine, not in the large quantities, small quantities. Only small quantity of partial digested food is passes into the small intestine from the stomach. Next, and here whatever the food is in the form of slimy substance, food is in the form of slimy substance. Here proteins are broken down and that is called as the chyme. This is also the 2 marks answer. Food is in the form of slimy substance. That slimy substance is nothing but the chyme. Here proteins have broken down into the smaller proteins. And here carbohydrates, I said that carbohydrates breaks down in the part of the mouth. Complex carbohydrates are breaks down into the simple carbohydrates are the simple molecules, and proteins are breaks down here, broken down here. And here fats. What about the fats? Liver. Liver produce the bile juice. Liver produce the bile juice. And here this bile juice has no enzymes. This bile juice has no enzymes. So whatever the fats are there, that fats are converted into the small globules. Small globules. This process called as the emulsification. Emulsification. 2 marks answer. What is emulsification? Emulsification means here liver produce the bile juice. By using the bile juice, fats are converted into the small fat globules. This process called as the emulsification. And further digestion process takes place by using the pancreatic juice also. Pancreas also produce the pancreatic juice like trypsin and etc. Next, come to the small intestine. What is the next one? Small intestine. This walls of the small intestine. Walls of the small intestine consists the finger-like projections. Finger-like projections. This finger-like projections are called as the finger-like projections called the villi. Microvilli. This is also 2 marks answer. What is villi? Walls of the small intestine consists the finger-like projections called the microvilli or the villi. What is the role of this villi? It increases the surface area of the absorption, and it also consists the lymph vessels and the blood vessels. It increases the surface area for the absorption process is called as the villi. And here one more point. This small intestine secretes the intestinal juice. Intestinal juice. That intestinal juice is nothing but the succus entericus. Succus entericus. What is succus entericus? 2 marks answer. Succus entericus is nothing but the small intestine secretes the intestinal juice is called as the succus entericus. In the part of the small intestine, digestion process, complete digestion process takes place, and here the food is absorbed by our body. Whatever the nutrients will take along with the food, that nutrients completely absorbed by the small intestine into our body. Next, what left? Large intestine. Food is completely digested and nutrients, all the nutrients are absorbed by our body. Next, large intestine, and compared to the large intestine, small intestine length is very big, very long, and here, so nutrients, all the nutrients are absorbed by our body in the part of the small intestine. And next, what left? Waste, fecal matter, or whatever the water is there, that water, extra water is also absorbed here. And the next, solid matter, waste materials, so whatever the waste materials are there, that waste materials are excreted excreted from our body through the rectum and the anus, finally into the anus. This process is called as the defecation. What is defecation? 2 marks answer. What is defecation here? So waste materials are the undigested materials. Here waste materials I wrote here, undigested materials are passed from our body through the anus. That process is called as the defecation. Whatever the undigested materials, that undigested materials are passes from our body through the anus into the outside of the body, that process is called as the defecation. And furtherly we learn more about this in the next 7th chapter, that is the coordination in life process chapter. So next, which topic you want, please comment, and please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.